What's good, everyone? It's Nigel here, Trinidad Empowerment Network. And I wasn't even planning on jumping on today, but emergency news, I suppose you could call it, coming out of America. The Dragon's gas deal is officially dead. This comes as no surprise to me. If any one of you, or all of you, or who have been listening or watching my videos, saw me predicted this a while ago. This deal was dead a long time ago. And especially with a petulant man baby in charge of America, Donald Trump, we are in for a very long 4 to 5 years. So Trinidad has once again been bullied, this time by the petulant man baby that's Donald Trump. And let's be real, when 40% of our trade is done with the United States, you don't poke the bear. That's Donald Trump. And we know he's a man that's easily, there's very little you have to do to that man to get him to react in a completely negative way. He has the mind and the reactions of a child, of a child who you've just told to sit in the corner and not move. That's who we're dealing with. We're dealing with a man who's a so-called leader of the free world that literally operates in the mindset of a kindergarten student. And we do not want to upset him. So therefore, I knew the Dragon's gas deal was not going to go through. And this, again, like I've alluded to, this comes as no real surprise to me. So what just happened? This deal was supposed to bring Venezuela's gas to Trinidad. We had a deal between Shell and BP to bring Venezuela's gas to Trinidad. Of course, that comes at a cost to us, but a significant gain in energy for Trinidad, securing our energy for a long time, for the foreseeable future. And as you know, any country, any sustainable country, one thing we do need is energy. So that would have, helped us massively to have this deal secured. Like I said, America and Donald Trump has now put an end to this deal. Like I said, it was a lifeline for our struggling energy sector, and our energy sector is struggling. But like I said, because Venezuela is now sanctioned by the US, the deal has always hung on by a thread. And that's why I said in previous videos, that the deal, as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I'm aware, from my personal knowledge of that situation, doing my own research, and the deal was null and void. So, for me, or for us, or for Trinidad, this isn't just about gas, it's about sovereignty as well. You know, the ability for our nation to retain our sovereignty, meaning that we are in charge of ourselves and we do not rely on anyone to make decisions for us or over us. But like I said, when your economy relies on the American economy at such a substantial rate, 40%, to lose that would literally destroy the Trinidad economy. Even though I believe he's put a 10% tariff on us so far. That's not great. It may increase, who knows? I mean, he's just put 104% tariffs on China. So China would probably be looking to do deals with other parts of the world, more so with the likes of the Caribbean. We already do deals with China. I believe we sell some of our natural gas to China as it is. So you may see an increase in the deals we do with China because of what Trump has done. But if we were to start making deals with China, that's likely to upset Trump, and he's likely to increase the tariffs that he's put on us in Trinidad. And just for clarity, a tariff is a tax, right? The tariff is a tax. That's all it is. It's a fancy name for a tax, right? So if he's increased the tax on the imports or the stuff that we export to America. And by the way, we export less to them. We import more from America than we export to them by just over $1 billion US. So we are in a deficit with America when it comes to export-import trades. We export less than we import from America. We run at a deficit anyway. So this is not all around, this is not good news for Trinidad. This is essentially modern day bullying, right? It's economic bullying. It's not sanctions, it's tariffs. If it's not tariffs, it's pressure. You know, and we're facing. We're in for a long 4 years, guys. We're in for a very long 4 years. So where does Trinidad stand now? We've got a GDP, like you've seen me in previous video alluded to. We've got a GDP of 30 billion US. But we've also got brains, or we should have. We've got natural gas, but we're still stuck because we keep depending on the same broken system, extract resources, export them raw, and hope someone gives us a fair price. We no longer have a refinery. As we know, that's a hot topic in Trinidad. We lost our refinery. So we extract everything raw, expecting the buyers to give us a fair price. Meanwhile, the wealth stays in the hand of a few in Trinidad. The wealth stays in the hand of a few. The wealth stays in the hand of a few, and it's not put back into the hands of the people, despite our GDP of 30 billion. We are left fighting over crumbs, like I've always alluded to in my videos. This is a problem we have. So what's the alternative, you ask? It's time we stop thinking like a gas station and start thinking like a nation. We need to build local industries. We need to invest in solar and green energy. We need to expand agriculture. That's a missing link in the Caribbean. I could never understand how we end up importing more agricultural stuff than we do. We don't even plant enough food in Trinidad to export or to for our own citizens. We import more than we export. How could a nation run? It is really frustrating. We need creating tech. Tech is massively lacking in the Caribbean. The world is moving towards tech, AI, etc., etc. If we fall back and wait for everyone else to do it and not be proactive when it comes to tech, we're lacking when it comes to tech. We're always 10 years behind everyone else. And if we're 10 years behind, we'd always be 10 years behind financially as well. So we really need to we need some energy in Trinidad. We need to stop waiting for the Americans or Europe or the Western countries to do it, and then we jump on the bandwagon, picking up the crumbs of what they've left behind. We need to stop doing that. We need to look at tourism. That's another massively underdeveloped sector in Trinidad and Tobago. We heard talks about sandals, talking about potentially now building a resort again. It's been on and off for the last how many years? Are they going to do it? Are they not going to do it? Let's just get on and do it. And if you have good policies in place, then it should benefit the locals in Tobago. And if they're employing local people, it can only be a good thing. But that comes down purely to government policy. You can't have these people come in and say they will dictate everything to us. It's our country. At the end of the day, they are coming to us because we have something to give to them. They're not coming to us to the goodness of their own heart. So someone asked me a question about sandals on my last video. There's my answer. It's a good idea, I believe. It's something that we need in the Caribbean. We need proper investment. Most countries have foreign investors, but it's how the government deal with these foreign investors that matters. So if you sign a honeypot deal for these foreign investors where you look after yourself and your mates and your friends and your cronies, which tends to happen in these Caribbean countries where they sign a deal and they sign a honeypot deal that looks after them, their friends, and the people do not benefit. The people do not get jobs. These foreign companies who invest bring in their own workers. That is not beneficial to our economy. It's only beneficial if the foreign investors come in, they invest, Sandals is built, for example, and they decide to employ local workers. And people get jobs, and that's how economy works. That's how we benefit from foreign investment, right? So it's not so much the foreign investors. If they see an opportunity, these people are greedy for the most part, or they're business people for the most part. They want to make money. If they see an opportunity, they will come to our island to make money. It's down to us on the policies and the deals we sign with them. And this is where we have to hold the government to account when it comes to the deals they're signing with these foreign investors. I think we should be trading smarter with or partnering with South America, Africa, the BRICS Pact, China, but on our terms. We have to do it on our terms. We cannot be bullied. I know we're a small country, but we've got a lot of things in our country. We've got a lot of natural resources. We've got really smart people. We do have. I know some people like to frown over that. Oh, Trinidad people are this. It's nothing to do with Trinidad people. We're not different to anyone else in many ways, but we have some exceptionalism in Trinidad. You know, we have music, carnival is something that we you know, people loved or know. Trinidad is well known across the world for. If we could take advantage of those opportunities, then build on it, build on our tech industry, like I've said before, our agriculture, tourism, manufacturing is massively underdeveloped in Trinidad. We import everything almost. You know, we need to develop our manufacturing. We need to keep the things at home. We have the people willing to do the work. Why don't we? We shouldn't be just out there begging for foreign investment, by the way, not just hoping America throw us a bone. You know, we need to grow up at some point. We need to put our big boy pants on and stop relying on Big Brother America and Big Brother Europe to try and bail us out. We've got enough. We've got enough. We just need to stop with what we're doing, and the wealth needs to be. It needs to be given out in a way that the wealthy don't just keep getting wealthier in Trinidad. You know, it's a shame that this is still going on. It's 2025. It's 2025, and the wealth in Trinidad is not being. It's frustrating to me, guys. I said anyway. I've alluded to what we need to do many times before, and this is what we need to do. And I believe this is where we can do it. Here, if we could develop, and if we could get enough people on board here with this movement. We need voices. The louder our voices, the more the people in charge are likely to listen to us. And this is what I believe we need to do. So with that, I'd say, please, if you can, it costs you nothing to subscribe to this network. If you want to hold those in power to account, I believe we could do it through this network. I believe the more of us that's on this network, and this is your network, this ain't mine. I've just one that's on here talking to you and trying to inform you as best as I can and learning from you, whilst I hope you are learning from some of the videos I put out and some of the information I put out. This is all we're here for. We're here, I think, if we work together. This is I see this, me and the audience, the people that watch these videos as a partnership, right? This is not about me, this is about you, and this is about making Trinidad better. And I keep saying on every video, we cannot keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. It is the definition of insanity. So with that, I'd close and I'd say, please subscribe, please like. The Dragon's Gas deal is officially dead. I knew this, I said this, I predicted this. It was obvious that it was going to happen. This has not come as news to me. We've lost billions, potentially, but we didn't have the deal in the first place. So we can't really say we lost something that we didn't have, if you want to see a positive in this. I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to be optimistic, but I'm running out quickly of optimism. We need to do better. Anyway, like, subscribe. Let's keep building this network, and I'll see you guys on my next video. For now, much love. Take care. God bless. Peace.
What I can tell Trinidad and Tobago, bear with me for 1 second, is that we have now been informed that our license from OFAC, which is dated the 18th of December 2023, has been revoked by OFAC. And that license is now revoked by OFAC, as well as our Coquina mannequin license. It came a little while after the others. What I can tell Trinidad and Tobago is I don't have more details than that. I have been in touch with our attorneys at law in Washington, D.C. There is a process for, I wouldn't say appeal of this revocation, but there is a process for you to make an application for it not to be, or for there to be amendments. And we are going to be engaged in that process on behalf of Trinidad and Tobago. I have also reached out to Mauricio Claver Caron, who is the special envoy, and put in a request for a telephone conversation with Secretary of State Marco Rubio, all of which I expect us to have the opportunity for me once again on behalf of Trinidad and Tobago to present our case. This does not come necessarily as a surprise, seeing how volatile things are, not only with respect to the policy with Venezuela, but what we're seeing, for example, with the application of tariffs.